Good day everyone, I am Sean Allen Miguel and I will be discussing the Article 9, 10, and 11 of the Treaty of Paris. So for the Article 9, it primarily deals with the rights of Spanish subjects who were already living in the territory at the time it was transferred. This article guaranteed that they could either stay or leave without losing their property. Regardless of their decision, they retained full ownership rights, meaning they could sell, transfer, or dispose of their property and keep the proceeds. This was an important safeguard because it prevented economic disruption and reassured landowners, merchants, and professionals that their livelihood would be protected despite the change in sovereignty. In addition to property rights, Article 9 allowed Spanish subjects remain to continue practicing their professions, engaging in commerce, or operating industries, under the same condition applied to other foreigners. This meant that they were not excluded from economic participation and could remain productive members of society. However, the article also introduced a political choice. Spanish subjects who wished to retain their allegiance to Spain were required to file a formal declaration before a court within 1 year. If they failed to do so, they were automatically considered to have renounced Spanish allegiance and to have acquired the nationality of the new sovereign. This provision clearly separated economic protection from political loyalty, ensuring legal clarity during the transition. So for the Article 9, it primarily deals with the rights of Spanish subjects who were already living in the territory at the time it was transferred. This article guaranteed that they could either stay or leave without losing their property. Regardless of their decision, they retained full ownership rights, meaning they could sell, transfer, or dispose of their property and keep the proceeds. This was an important safeguard because it prevented economic disruption and reassured landowners, merchants, and professionals, the native inhabitants of the ceded territories. Unlike Spanish subjects, their civil and political status was not immediately defined. Instead, the treaty placed this responsibility entirely in the hands of the United States Congress. This meant that Congress would decide their future rights, including issues such as citizenship and political participation. While this allowed flexibility for future legislation, it also created uncertainty and delayed the recognition of political rights for native population. At the same time, Article 10 guaranteed the free exercise of religion for all inhabitants. This was a crucial assurance as it protected religious liberty despite the change in political authority. It reflected an effort to preserve personal freedoms even while political status remained unresolved. So for the Article 11, it focuses on the legal system. It extended full civil and criminal jurisdiction to the courts of the United States over Spaniards living in the ceded territories. Spaniards were placed under the same ordinary laws as other residents and were given the right to appear before U.S. courts. More importantly, they were granted the same procedural protections as American citizens, which ensured fairness and equality before the law. So, in conclusion, Article 9, 10, and 11 collectively created a framework that protected property, ensured religious freedom, and established legal continuity under U.S. rule. However, they also revealed unequal treatment, particularly in how the political status of native inhabitants was postponed and left to congressional discretion. These provisions highlight both the protections and the limitations embedded in the treaty during a critical period of political transitions. Thank you.